This is parts 1, 2, and 3 of the family creation story. Emily and Sarah are on their family creation pathway. I'm speaking to them at a variety of intervals throughout their journey, and we start with the first piece of the puzzle being after eggs are retrieved and fertilized, and they are sitting on ice because they're planning to do reciprocal IVF. They've used Emily's eggs to freeze, and we're waiting for Sarah to get ready to have the transfer. Over the course of the next several months, I will record intermittent conversations with them and piece everything together once their baby finally arrives. Welcome to the Becoming Baby Ready podcast, your podcast for queer family planning. My name is Sam, and throughout this podcast, you'll hear me have conversations with professionals who work alongside people who want to start and grow their families, as well as parents of intentionally created families. Everyone I speak to identifies as being part of the 2S LGBTQIA+ community. This is your opportunity to learn answers to questions you didn't even know you had. Welcome, everyone. I want to welcome today Emily and Sarah. And before I have them tell you who they are and about their dreams for a family, I want to first say that we're doing something different. The three of us had a conversation and decided maybe what we'll do is a little podcast-style documentary that we haven't come up with a word for yet necessarily. And we're going to talk to them at various points throughout their family creation journey, because the nitty-gritty of some of the emotions of the whole process are important to talk about. And sometimes when I talk to parents after babies arrive, we're so focused on the babies, which we should be, that I think sometimes we maybe forget what some of the steps were and how we felt along the way. So without further ado, welcome to the two of you. I'm so happy to have you here. Full disclosure, I may have known Emily since she was little, but we haven't seen each other in over 20 years. So this is like a brand new meeting, and I've never met Sarah before. So hello and welcome. Tell us about yourselves and how you met.
We met, well, Sarah always says we met speed dating, but we didn't actually speed date. It was a dating event that was supposed to be like a matchmaker thing. It's at Glad Day Bookstore, and we didn't meet until like the end of the night, and we just connected. We both come from big families, and yeah, that was basically it. We didn't,
it.
yeah,
And then I don't think we stopped seeing each
yeah,
other.
and we,
Then the
you
pandemic
called.
hit, not you called.
But you did the totally typical lesbian thing, and once you started dating, you were together as much as you physically possibly could be outside of work. Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Even with pandemic restrictions, so it would just be like I got yeah, I got tested at work, and every time I got my test negative for COVID, I'd be like, okay, I'm coming over. I'm gonna sit in your house for 2 weeks until my next test.
Excellent. And so it was during the pandemic or just before that the two of you started to...
One date in before everything shut
Yeah,
down.
1 or 2 dates in.
And so we had to make a pretty quick decision on whether we were gonna stay together or not.
Yeah.
But
I think that that's pretty normal for the times, right? There's a lot of people who started dating right around that time, and then that was kind of a okay, so we're either in it or we're out, because
Yeah,
we're in each other's bubble or we're not.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Excellent. And so, um, how soon after you started dating? I mean, you both come from big families. I didn't know that about you, Sarah, but I know that Emily is the youngest of several, and because I've known her mom for years and years, so
Yeah.
I know that sort of that kind of history. Did you know because of that that you were always going to want to have a family of your own because that's just how you grew up?
No, no, for a long time I was like, no, thank you. I helped my mom like raise my siblings because I'm number two of six.
Okay.
So big family, lots of personalities, and then I kind of got older and I helped my sister raise my niece, and I was like, oh, it's not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
But it also helps having a proper partner. Like my mom was a single mom for a long time, my sister was a single mom for a long time, and I was like, I'm kind of happy I don't have that
Right.
in my life. Like I never had to worry about that. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really think about family planning other than the fact that, well, if it happens, it happens. Because
Right.
it's an active choice in my my type of relationship. Like I'm gay,
Sure.
so I
Yeah.
always knew that I wouldn't have an oopsie baby or anything like that in high school. So that was
Yeah.
pretty cool. And then yeah, I met Emily and I was like, well, I kind of want a normal life. My friends were all growing up and like they were having kids and getting married. I was like, well, that looks really nice and normal. And
Yeah.
because I was working in kitchens at the time and like restaurants and ruling schedules and horrible shifts and just not a fun life. And then the pandemic happened, everything shut down. And I was like, well, maybe I could be an adult now.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. And then I don't know. I guess at some point I was just like, well, I could be a mom with Emily.
Yeah.
And like seeing all her siblings have kids and they're a really connected family. Like my family isn't as connected as they are, despite
Right.
being close, but they have a village. And I think that made me feel safe
Yeah.
in bringing another child into this life. Because after seeing my mom struggle for so long, I was like, well, I don't want to just like have a kid and not have everything I need for that kid.
Right. And what about you, Emily?
Oh, well, well, my mother's a childbirth educator and I grew up in baby care classes. So
Hmm.
I it didn't ever seem like an option to not have children to me. I was like, babies, yeah, babies rock, man. They're the coolest. Um, so yeah, I think that was part of it too. It was like when we started dating, I always ask anyone to start dating, what do you feel about kids? Because it's like for me, that's what I want.
Yeah.
So
I think it was one of the first conversations I
yeah,
usually
well,
have.
because nope, I was like, there's no point in a serious but a relationship. There, if you don't see children as a possibility in the future, that's gonna not work for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair. And so, I mean, that's the beauty though of relationships like ours because our families are intentionally created. They don't happen by accident. So you
Mhm.
have to have those conversations because there are going to be other steps that you have to have. So you have now decided that you are ready to do the adult thing and have a family. And so where are you on the journey so far?
Um,
It feels like it's at the
no,
end,
I
to
know,
be
but
honest, because
it's
we've been doing it for so long now, but we're pretty close to like transfer day is kind of where we're at right this second.
Hmm.
Um, but it was a long process getting there.
yeah, we decided that well, I did, again after years of prenatal education classes, I didn't want anything to do with birthing a baby. I've seen the
Mhm.
videos, idea of being pregnant, so I was like, okay, rock on. And so we're doing reciprocal IVF, and we're at the point now we've done the egg retrieval, um, which was the whole that was the
That
whole
was
thing. And now we have our embryos, and we're just waiting for like the right day to put the embryo in, which is sort of weird to think they're all just hanging out in the
yeah.
lab right now. But
Yeah, like our children have been
with
conceived, which is a
yeah,
wild concept. Like
with
all of
some
them.
random guy
Yeah.
that we found on the internet from Chicago, right? Like it's
There you go. So, but how did you do that? So you used a donor sperm? Was it
yes,
someone that you knew? Did you go through a bank or a registry?
it was the bank. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We did like we wanted to. I don't know. There's like a certain amount of grief I think that comes with us knowing that we can't biologically create a child together. And so we wanted to make it fun and make it feel less weird because it's super weird to try and look for a biological father of your child
Yeah.
looking through basically Tinder
Yeah,
profiles.
basically
And so
very
we were like, how do we saw a TV show where like a reality show where she had all her friends have a party and decide together. And so that's what we did. We got everyone together. Yeah, we voted.
show of our favorites and we voted on the best ones and it
We,
was nice having everyone involved.
yeah, and like knowing like so many people don't have that kind of support at all. Like never mind, having so many people be excited for them that they're having a child. So that
Yeah,
felt good for her.
Mhm.
I love that. That's a fun idea.
Picking the biological other half of your
Yeah.
child.
Right? And that's a question though, because I mean, we assign the word father to it because there was sperm involved. But in your heads, is that like that's just is that just a donor? Is that the biological father? Like how would you phrase that for a child that comes along when they're asking questions?
For myself, I call him the donor. I think because like I'm just not really attracted to men, So like,
Fair.
Yeah, because I think it's different. Like to me, it's different. Like a dad is your dad, like the person who's in your life, and like a father is the scientific term for the person who gave you your DNA.
Perfect.
So I think we would just, I mean, we talked a lot about like, how do you explain to a kid where they came from, and just being like, yeah, these are the three things you need: a sperm, an egg, and a place to grow the baby. And so, there's three of us involved, and I'm the egg, she's the place. And there's a guy that, if you want to meet him someday, we'll, that was part of we wanted to make sure it was an open,
Hmm.
don't, that they're willing to be contacted when the child grows up. And yeah, that's how I think we do see it slightly different. But
yeah, I didn't have like a father. Like I did, but didn't. My parents divorced when I was very young, and so a father figure was nothing to me.
Hmm.
Why I'm like, I don't really care to call him a dad or a father because like
Right.
that's a role. It's not just like genetic material because that's all it is,
Right.
and you're donating that. So, but it was definitely a process.
Sure. It is a process. It's a process in general just to invite anyone else in. Like you said, there's a grief process that you go through when you realize that the two of you love each other and you would love to have a family together, but you need someone else to make that
Yeah,
happen, and that's
yeah,
just crappy.
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I'm sure he's a nice guy. Like,
And
if you're
We read
donating
his
that, yeah, his
personality
personality
profile.
profile is very sweet. I'm like, but at the end of the day, in 15 years or 20 years, I might have this man in my life, right?
right.
And so I already have like interesting relationships towards men in
Yeah.
general because of my father.
Right.
Um,
And I
so
think we both just my big thing when we talked a lot about everything, of course, before. And my big thing with everything we did, all our choices, even in terms of, okay, what's the safest option for who to carry, what's the safest option for what eggs to use and all of that. I just wanted, and choosing the donor, I wanted to be able to, if we have a child one day who's looks us in the eye and says, why did you do it this way?
Hmm.
I wanted us to have an answer to that and not just be like, I don't know, we just really wanted a kid. And so we just freewheeled it. Like, I wanted to make sure we said, well, we did this because we wanted this kind of life for you. And we wanted you to be safe and healthy and all these things. So
mhm.
I think that's gone into
uh,
everything
oh,
that
Sure.
we've
everything.
chosen. Yeah.
I can appreciate where you are now and what that feels like it could mean. And for some people, it does. I think for a lot of us, it doesn't. So there is that optimism for you as well. Because the last thing you want is for somebody to come in and decide, because it feels like if another person comes in and they are a quote unquote parent, that they're going to start parenting the child that is your child. And that's not what anybody wants.
We're influencing them in a way that I might not appreciate too, right? Or just like God only knows that they're homophobic, like right? Like that'd be horrible. My child to like get a phone call and have to deal with that. So
But I also think, like, I mean, if there was ever any contact, it wouldn't be until they were 18. That's like the rules of.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
By the time your kid's 18, we have no control over who they're influenced by, whether they're
Right.
genetic material or not. They're talking to Sally down the street who's getting them into trouble. So
It's true. It's possible for sure. So you've decided that you're doing reciprocal IVF and
mhm.
that Emily, you have zero interest in using your uterus for that at all.
Yeah,
Um,
if I must, but
yeah. Push came to shove. That's how if that she wants a baby bad enough, she would do it, obviously. 'Cause,
right, right.
yeah,
And so you are working then through a fertility clinic in the Greater Toronto area, is that right?
yeah.
yeah,
We've been using pollen, and
which is such an on the nose name. It
yeah,
makes us laugh every time.
yeah, it's great there. We love it. They're very welcome.
They are a pretty welcoming space, and I mean, I can say to you, they've worked with me to make sure that their space is welcoming and inclusive and that they stay on top of making sure that the environment is supportive for you from the minute you walk in to the minute you walk out.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they've ever even like slipped up,
No,
like been like,
there's been no
oh
weirdness.
yeah, like they've they've always been, even when I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing this process and my wife's gonna carry like everyone the lab tech, they're always just like, oh, that's so wonderful. Like nobody's even made a face. So it's
Yeah.
that's and we've seen a lot of other couples in there, and so we're like, okay, this feels like a good place. We weren't sure. We know some people in our lives have had bad experiences at fertility clinics, so we were a little nervous about that, and even like we're working with a male doctor, and we were like, ooh, and he's been amazing.
Having that be a safe space,
Mhm.
because I was pretty worried about it. I have a few friends who've not had the best experiences with their fertility clinics.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's already
That
a
would
very,
spoil it. Yeah.
very stressful situation.
Mhm.
Even just waking up every morning at 7 a.m. to go into appointments. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Don't feel like comfortable in there. I think that would be horrible.
Yeah, it's already vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've done the retrieval, we've got embryos on ice. How many embryos do we have?
We sent 8 off for
Genetic
the
testing.
genetic testing, and 6 of them are good to go.
Woot woot.
Yes. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're pretty pumped about that.
We don't know which one to pick.
I never pictured in my life like how, when they retrieve the eggs and they're this many fertilized, and they have to make it to this number of days before, and then testing. I never thought I'd feel so invested in like these little
These little
I think
things.
they're
Yeah,
just
like,
microscopic little things, but I'm like, they're our whole world right now. So
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
That's pretty cool. So now we're just waiting for you, Sarah, to do the everything to get ready.
Yeah. Should be in the next couple months. We're
That's
hoping.
awesome. And so the plan then for the three of us is that we'll connect after you've had a chance to do the transfer
Mhm.
and like, we want to not be knocking on your door continuously, but we are now invested in your journey.
Wonderful.
So when this podcast picks up again, will be after you've done some transfer. Okay, as promised, we didn't connect again to record until after there was a successful transfer. So here's part 2. Well, here we are, 6 months after we originally spoke. And as promised, we were waiting to record until there was more to share with you. So I'm back with Emily and Sarah, and it is now 6 months later. Tell us how you two are doing. What's new? What's exciting? Anything changed in your world?
Well, we're 19 weeks pregnant now,
Woot
so
woot.
it's a big change, very drastic. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, it was, I know like fertility can be very difficult for a lot of people, but it felt a little easier than I originally thought it was going to be.
Okay.
And I think that was just like luck on our side and fortune on our side for that. Because we only had to do 2 transfers and they were consecutive, so like right back to back. And even though that was like extremely stressful, like losing the first transfer really didn't like hurt, but it was like kind of discouraging. Like, oh,
Right.
that was the first bit of bad news we had.
Right.
Because like we didn't have any fertility issues going into it. I think within like what 6 months of going through fertility, we were already doing a transfer.
Yeah.
So it was very just like everything's good, go, go, go. And then that was our first bit of like negative.
Disappointment.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, this might actually be harder than we thought it was. But then we went right into the next transfer and that one worked quite well. Yeah.
So if my math is mathing, you had 6 embryos on ice after PGAT testing,
Yeah.
and you've used 2. So you have room to have 4 more babies potentially after that.
Yeah, that's a lot of babies.
The nervous laughter is entertaining.
I'm glad that we have that option, you know.
Fair.
It's very reassuring.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're gonna see how the first one plays out.
Yeah.
Too.
See if they like us enough.
I think we both would love to have 2 for sure.
Yeah.
Like we both grew up with multiple siblings, so yeah.
To have an only child would feel weird.
Yeah.
Like
But
even my sister has 4 kids, and it's like they like it. So
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd need a minivan for all those embryos.
So you are about halfway, almost halfway through your pregnancy. You've got to be getting ready for or have just had your anatomy scan to see all of the bits and bobs being where they're supposed to be. Has that happened yet?
no, we go tomorrow for our anatomy scan. And I mean, I have a good feeling it's going to go well. All the other scans have gone well, so I don't see why it wouldn't.
Yeah.
But like we've chosen not to find out the sex of the baby.
Yep.
Which has been it's a mixed reaction from people. The older generation is really thrilled for it, but the younger
they're like, good for you.
They're like, that's so exciting. That's how we did it back in our day.
Yeah.
But the younger generation is like, oh, I couldn't wait. Like I would need to know. I would need to know. And I'm like, I don't know. I like the anticipation and the surprise and like keeping the secret, you know? It's one of the very few things about pregnancy that I get to keep to myself.
It's funny, years and years ago, I worked with a midwifery practice in Mississauga, and one of the midwives once said to me that one of the gifts that we can give ourselves as expectant parents is not finding out the sex of the baby, because we're never going to be disappointed when we go through the process of labor and birth and they hand you a baby and say you have a whatever the sex is.
Yeah.
You're going to be excited for it and you're not going to be disappointed. And I thought that's kind of a cool thought process.
Yeah, and that was like my thought process, because you see all the videos on the internet of people who are very visibly disappointed at their reveals. I'm like, I don't need that in my life. I don't need that.
And I feel like that's such a focus on the sex of the baby. Like when people do a reveal, like nothing against it, but it's just like,
I have bigger things going on in my pregnancy.
Yeah, then everyone, that's all they care about.
Sex of my baby. I'm
like, yeah.
Very I don't want that like prejudgment on the baby before they're even born. Like they're gonna get enough of that in their life. You know what I mean? Like they're already, you know, I feel like once you're like, oh, I'm pregnant with a little girl, I'm pregnant with a little boy, then everyone starts picturing this future for them. I'm like they're not even born yet.
Yeah.
let's give them a second to decide who they are, you know.
And 99 times out of 100, who we have perceived they're going to be is not at all the person that they become. Right. So why start before they're even here breathing on their own?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't help that to some extent. I mean, regardless of their sex, like, you know, picturing who is this person going to be? Like,
yeah,
you watch them start as this, like, in
tiny
the fertility
blob.
Process, you see the little embryo blob and you're like, whoa. And like how quickly that turns into like a little person with a face and arms and they're waving at you. It's like I thought I knew about the pregnancy process, but seeing how quickly that all happens was super cool.
Well, the work that your mom and I have done in our lives is really when people are acutely aware of there being a baby coming, right? With childbirth education, with labor support, that kind of thing. So most of, including ourselves, we don't spend a lot of time thinking about the cells and how the cells have changed. We just know that there were cells that gave us this person, and now we need to help people get that person out of their body. But it's neat to be able to really watch every single step along the way. Yeah. Because that's not, we kind of just usually just, it's there. And then we start thinking about it.
Yeah, we got like a behind the curtain kind of look into conception and like, from every piece along the way. Like, it's super cool.
And that's, I think, a gift that we get in the queer community when we have to use fertility services to support us, that we can have a different kind of appreciation about how our kids come to us.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just, to know like how wanted this child is, like every step of the way, right? Like everything that you go through to get
Yeah.
them, and all the planning and all the money and all the investment of time and your body, and
Yeah.
this baby didn't just come to be by
What a fun
by
Tuesday
luck of the
night.
draw,
Yeah,
right?
like
Like this
Yeah.
was
very
baby
thought
always know
out,
they were
planned
super
out
planned.
decision. Yeah. There's no room for regret in this, right? So
No,
it's
there's not.
very nice and reassuring that.
When Emily, you and I were messaging back and forth, you made a
Mm-hmm.
comment to me that I should ask you about your very swollen breasts. Sarah's the one that's pregnant, so how about we chat about that?
Great question. I'm inducing lactation,
Nice.
which is a whole interesting, wacky process.
Hmm.
I started like 2 months ago, like sometime in July. I'm at it used to be called the Jack Newman Center, but I can't remember what it's called now. And I take birth control, which is not something I've been on in a long, long time. And take medication, domperidone, and that's it so far. And they warned me to the lactation consultant was like, yeah, the first little while, like your breasts are gonna swell. And I was like, okay. And I thought it really, something's happening. Like
You don't know if it's milk or what, but
the bras don't fit. There's something's going on in there.
Increased in volume.
Yeah. Oh no, it was really important to me I wanted to be able to breastfeed as well. And yeah, that was something I care about a lot, and I knew that this was a possibility. So
right. So what are your next steps I mean, you're still halfway through the pregnancy, so there's still a
yeah.
process to go through. When does your protocol change in terms of what you need to do to sort of
Yeah.
trick your body into thinking that it's time for you to be making milk?
About 6 to 8 weeks, they said, before the baby's due to arrive, I stop the birth control and start pumping like every 3 hours, basically trick my body. Oh, baby's here. And yeah, they said, you got to be pretty dedicated to the pumping because a baby would be dedicated to eating. So
That's true.
I'm just seeing that as the dress rehearsal for being up at night, because they said it's really important to pump in the nighttime, and
Right.
when the prolactin levels are high. And so yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
It'll be an adventure.
100% it will. But then if you're collecting milk, if you are pumping and eventually successful at collecting milk, you will have milk to top up if baby needs it once they're born.
Totally.
And most babies don't, but it's nice to know for that peace of mind
Yeah.
that you have it in case you need it.
Yeah, there's a reserve already there.
Yeah, we put a little freezer on the baby registry, and everyone's like, "What is this for?" I'm like, it's wishful thinking that we're gonna have enough milk to put in this freezer."
Hey, listen, the worst that can happen is that you have so much milk between the two of you that you don't need that milk, and so you
Yeah.
donate it to
Exactly.
people who do need it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that.
No. Yeah. And there's been my family is very open and stuff about everything breastfeeding, and multiple times that people have shared milk amongst each other when, oh, I've got lots in my freezer, or you're having a bad day of milk supply, no problem, like let me bring some over. So I think there's definitely like an openness to that sharing amongst us as well too.
Absolutely. And it's nice to know you've got that as a backup for sure. So the holidays are coming, and that's about the time that you're supposed to start pumping.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah. It's like around, just before
that.
Christmas, I think, is when yeah.
I'll be very, very pregnant.
Yeah.
And she'll be pumping in the middle of the night.
But they actually told me at my work that they have a room I can go to, and it's like protected time. Nobody can tell me I can't take the time, which I think is super cool. Like, obviously, breastfeeding is like a protected right, but I didn't realize in this situation they're like, no, we're not we're not messing with that. If you need to go pump, you do what you got to do.
You got to do. I love that though, because these days we hear more and more stories, and people are sharing more and more stories that are not positive about how the queer community is treated by employers and the world as a whole. So to think that there's a company out there that knows that you and your wife are expecting a child and you're hoping to be able to also feed from your body, so you're pumping to induce lactation, and they're like, excellent. We got you. Here's a safe space for you to do that.
Yeah.
It's your protected time. You do what you need to do. Like that's commendable when we don't
Yeah.
hear a lot about things like that these days.
Yeah. And I think like, I mean, to the whole process, like even like from donor choosing to IVF, all of it, like pregnancy, the lactation, the response we've gotten from people around us has been like overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
Like everyone we've been so lucky,
fortunate,
even beyond if we were a straight couple, we've been like showered with so much support. Like it's like
it's a little overwhelming
incredible.
at times.
Yeah, like
Fair.
yeah, even when people find out that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna breastfeed too, they're just like floored.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, if my husband could have done that, that would have saved our lives.
What's coming up next? I mean, I suspect that we'll probably connect. I would think probably when you're kind of like a month or so out, because you'll have some thinking and some feelings and some thoughts about how things are going to unfold. But over the next couple of months, what are your thoughts? What are your plans? Are you taking classes? Are you reading books? Are you
Yeah, we're gonna take classes. Of course, we must.
I feel like it in this family it'd be a crime.
We must take them.
You either go to the class or they come to you. It's just going to be how it is.
Yeah, thankfully we have a lot of people in our life that are like, if you don't want to go to the class, we can just come and do it. You're home. And I'm like, well, I like to get out. I'm quite extroverted, so
we have a lot of childbirth educators swarming around us. In a beautiful way.
To the point where I don't have to read the books, or go on, like, I haven't done any like weird Googling or rabbit holes because I have so many resources right there, like a text message away. So it's really deterred me from having like really bad negative thoughts about things or like being stressed, because like my low blood pressure kind of started stressing me out because I was feeling faint. I wasn't eating, like I had no energy. And then like one of the family friends was like, well, just do that. Don't do anything. Like you don't have to feel so pressured to be this perfect pregnant woman who can do it all. Like most people who are doing it all don't want to do it all.
Right.
And so it's really reassuring rather than going on the internet being like, well, you should try this and try this. It's like, well, I don't want to take a bunch of smoothies or like exercise more. I kind of just want to feel like crap for a little bit. Yeah. So it's been nice to have that rather than having to do my own research. Have the research already there ready.
Perfect.
But then I'm excited for the class. And like I started physical therapy just because like my joints have started to ache and my tendons are achy and stuff like that. So I've done things like that. But
and is that with a pelvic health physiotherapist or just
a regular physiotherapist? I did book an appointment with the pelvic floor, but there's no signs that I have any issues with my pelvic floor. So she's like, just do like the core strengthening stuff and like hip mobility. Found out that my hips aren't very mobile. Those have pretty much, been 3 days. And the stretches have already started to work. So
it's amazing how fast your body can recover if you know how to help it heal.
Yeah, exactly. I think if I had waited too long, I'd be in a different predicament. But once I started feeling sore, I'm like, oh no, I got to get on this. Yeah. Because it sucks.
Yeah. And we're starting all the, well, I was gonna say, like more than started the process of thing gathering. I'm already like such a nester just by nature. So I'm like
pretty much everything.
I've got us to a point now where we have everything that we would need if a baby were to show up on our doorstep today. We have the base. There's a place for baby to sleep. There's a car seat, a stroller, like all the things that are essential. And then
we even have like clothes.
Yeah. Then all this, well, then there's all the stuff that people tell you need, right? So,
and some of it you will absolutely use, and some of it for you won't be the thing that you need, and it ends up being something that you put laundry on top of or whatever. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And where are you birthing? Like, are you birthing with midwives? Are you birthing with an OB? Like, because the last time we talked, you were still with Pollen Fertility. So you hadn't graduated to.
Originally, I wanted to do midwifery, but I have Crohn's. And while I am in remission from it, doctors just recommended that I go through a hospital. So in case there is any emergency, or if I
Yep.
do, like midwives don't really know to look for the signs of Crohn's.
Fair.
If I have an inflammation, or if I come out of remission, they're not really prepared for that kind of medicine. And so we did end up choosing a family obstetrics, and they've been phenomenal. Like, I was a little nervous for the transition from pollen because we got used to pollen.
Yeah.
And like they kind of felt like family there. Like,
Yes.
yeah, like,
Exactly.
and they were a great clinic and really warm and welcoming. So leaving them, I was like, oh God, now I have
We're
to
on
go.
our own.
Yeah, now I have to like start over. I have to find a new doctor and a new care team and like get to know new people while I'm also like dealing with my first pregnancy.
Right.
Like, I have no idea what to expect. I don't know what the symptoms are going to be like, but it was a very seamless transition, thankfully. Again, we have people in our life that were like, well, we can recommend
Check.
really good places to go if you're looking for that route. So,
and I feel like we were like slightly anxious about like having an OB. Like, obviously, like, again, there's nothing against OBs and nothing against midwives, but I feel like the OBs are maybe more leaning towards like high intervention, and midwives are leaning towards like low intervention. And the family obstetrics just felt like a really happy medium for us. That, like, we're being seen in the hospital, the birthing's gonna happen in the hospital, but she's also very balanced and very Dr. Schumann, she's so awesome.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She's so cool. She was like, our first appointment, she's like, so I was like, oh, I think I'm having headaches because I've had to like go off coffee. And she's like, don't let anyone tell you can't have coffee. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
And we're like, you are.
I'm like, here I am drinking a single decaf, and I used to drink like 2 Red Bulls a day. Like,
wow.
Yeah, I used to like consume so much caffeine because like I have ADHD, so it was a very good like that midday slump to just take a hit of caffeine. And she's like, you're probably just stressing yourself out because you've gone from like 400 milligrams of caffeine to like 80. So turns out you can have the coffee and you can take the Tylenol. And there's a lot of things that, again, I was Googling things and they're like, don't do this, don't do that. It's like, I just have to talk to my doctor. I'll talk to my healthcare professional and they will guide me right.
And that's just it. I think that because social media and Google have become so easily accessible in our lives that we sometimes forget to actually just listen to our care providers.
Yeah. Listen to the experts, the people who have.
They want us to have the best and safest experience that works well for them and for us. So ask their opinion. And if they don't know, because some things will come up that some doctors will say, or midwives will say, I actually don't have a lot of experience working with that, but maybe this is a good resource to check out to find out more information instead of just
going on TikTok and typing in the search engine. And then get rage baited.
Right. Says I, as someone who posts about birth on TikTok all the time, but my stuff's researched, I promise.
And it's like sometimes I always if I see something, there's lactation consultants and stuff like, and I've seen a few that were like, this is the bottle you should get or not get, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna make sure like actually look up who this person is. Are they really a registered lactation consultant?
Right.
Like, is what they're saying backed by other information? Sometimes it's like, I'm a new mom and this is not like, obviously new moms have their instinct and everything too, but I want to know like what the people who've gone to school for this say.
Exactly. And where does Dr. Schumann, like, where are you birthing out of? Let people know.
Sunnybrook.
Yeah.
Shocking. Shocking that you're going to be at Sunnybrook.
Shocking that I would go to Sunnybrook.
Which is like really great because not only is it one of the highest ranked babies and mothers hospital in the world.
Yep.
Which is very, very reassuring for all aspects of our pregnancy. Because like even being queer, I was like, you can't just walk into a hospital, right? Yep. But you can walk into one of the world's best.
Yep.
Like my wife works there, so if I go into labor, there's no traffic to be sitting in. You can just walk across the parking lot and she's there.
And my mother would never forgive me if we gave birth at Mount Sinai. That's just like such a betrayal. I'm so sorry.
Mount Sinai is a great hospital, but so is Sunnybrook. And your mom has had that connection with Sunnybrook for several decades now.
Yeah, a long time.
Well, I can't wait to get to the next part because the next time we record will be just before you meet this human. And it'll be so exciting. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I'm
I'm
excited.
super pumped. I just
Yeah.
think like a lot of people I know are worried, like, oh, when they let you leave the hospital as a newborn, like that doesn't worry me at all. I'm super pumped for that part.
Right.
It's just the like getting the baby into the world part that I'm anxious about. And I don't even have to do it myself, and I'm like probably more anxious.
Yeah, you've been way more anxious about this whole thing than I've been.
Yeah.
I'm just
Thus,
like,
you using your uterus instead of her.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, well, whatever, it's fine. I know what's going on in my body, so that's very reassuring. Like a lot of times, Emily's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, like I'm not dying, you know.
Yeah.
Like I just
Yeah.
have like indigestion."
I'm so excited for you too. I can't wait to connect again soon. Have a great fall. And here we are at part 3. The new year has begun. They've made it most of the way through the pregnancy. Emily has successfully begun the process of lactation induction, and a baby shower has been had. Now, all they need is to finish off the balance of the pregnancy before they meet their wee baby. I'm going to just say that we're recording today, Thursday, January 8th, and you are getting closer and closer. For me, it feels like it's gone racing past, but I can't. How does it feel for the two of you? Where are you at? Where the holidays are behind you? How are things going? Where are you at in the pregnancy?
We're 35 weeks now. I'm 35 weeks, or almost 35 tomorrow. So I
Okay.
guess. Yeah, now it's really slowed down. It feels like it's dragging on. I'm ready for the eviction.
There you go. But is that physical or emotional? Like you've been so excited to do this because I remember before you guys even got pregnant or started on the pathway, you were excited about getting pregnant as soon as you possibly could, conceiving a baby and starting your family right away. So now you're at this place where it's happening. So I've got to wonder if some of it is emotional because you guys have been ready for years.
Oh yeah, like I just never thought of it like that. But no, it's really physical for me. It's a big baby and I'm a small framed person.
You are. You are. I had the pleasure of meeting you in person in November at the baby shower. And I don't, because on camera, it's hard to tell how tall someone is or how slight someone is. And so when I met you in person, I went, you are slight. Like you're a tiny person.
Yeah.
I mean, neither here nor there for birthing. You are growing this human. You're going to get this human out. But
No, I don't have baby birthing hips and like neither did my mother and she pumped out 6. So that's not to say that I'm incapable of it, but it's a lot of extra weight on my lower back.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
How are you navigating that? Are you seeing a chiropractor, having acupuncture, doing massage?
I do massage therapy and physiotherapy as often as I like comfortably can. And then I just like lots of pillows, make myself like comfortable. It's a pretty common complaint I feel at this point in pregnancy that you're just sore.
Fair,
Yeah.
fair. That's true. And Emily, have you been ousted from the bed? Are there that many pillows that you've been evicted?
It's getting close. It's getting close. I tend to spend like half the night in the bed, and then because I'm now like pumping so often, by the time like I come out sometime in the middle of the night, whenever I kind of wake up naturally, I come out and I pump, and I usually just stay on the couch and fall asleep from there because it's just I'm out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It saves you having to move and it just gives her more space. So, right.
Exactly.
Can we talk about that a little bit? Because when we last spoke, you hadn't started pumping, although that was very much your plan, it's to get moving on that pathway. When did you start and how is that going?
So initially, because the protocol, they've changed it slightly. So because you're on the birth control pill to mimic pregnancy, and then like the original protocol is like 8 weeks before a baby's due to arrive, you stop the birth control and start pumping 8 times a day. So they told me while I was still on the birth control to just start pumping like gently
2 to 3 times a day. So I was doing that for quite a while. But then now I've stopped the pill, and it's like supposed to be try to imitate having a newborn as much as possible. So
Right.
it's a lot of pumping, but like it's working. It's a little slower than I thought it would be.
Right.
But then everything that I see online is like, oh, like I'm actually going faster than it's typical. So it's going well. It just doesn't always feel like it's going well.
Because you've been pumping for a while. Like,
Yeah.
you've been doing this for so long, you thought that by now there'd be more results.
Yeah.
Right.
But I have enough, starting to get enough to like save a bit every day. So that's kind of satisfying to start like feeling like, I don't know, it's productive in a way. But
And how many times a day that are you now supposed to be pumping? Like 8 times a day?
yeah, including like they suggest overnight when the like hormone levels are the highest.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do at least one overnight or like very, very early in the morning.
Yeah. Do you find that your milk levels are higher overnight or in the morning when prolactin levels typically are higher?
Yeah, like the early morning especially, I'm like it's like the most productive of the whole day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is like harder.
Right. And so you are still working, which
Yeah.
means you're having to pump at work and you're just carting your gear everywhere you go. Is that kind of how it goes?
Yeah, pretty much. Um, everyone just kind of got used to me being like, okay, I'm gonna excuse myself. Luckily, one of my colleagues doesn't work. She has a private office across from mine, and she doesn't work um, on site most days. So she said, like, oh, have at it. So
Yeah.
I just go sit in her office and try and relax and bring. I have like a what do you call it, hands-free pump.
Right.
I'm not like super fond of it, but it does the trick, like because it's easier to cart around than my whole, kit caboodle of the
Oh, yeah.
wall pump. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, what are the plans that the two of you have in terms of parental leave after baby is born? If you're pumping this much, are you still planning to return to work at first? Sarah will be home with baby, and then you'll just pump for and feed baby when you're at home, or how are you two planning to navigate time home, time with baby, feeding baby, that kind of thing?
I'm staying like I'm taking like almost a full parental leave.
Okay.
Because I felt like, well, firstly, you're never gonna get this time back when the baby's small.
Sure.
And I kind of saved some rainy day money, and I thought, well, this would be the time to use the rainy day money, because now I've put all this effort into being able to the whole process, being able to produce milk too. Like, I don't want to produce milk just to fill a freezer. Like, I want to feed the baby. That was like why I put so much work into this and be with the baby. So yeah, we're both gonna stay home and make it happen, basically.
Yeah, because I'm planning on just staying home until
like permanently
until I need to return back to work.
Right. Which is nice because you get to do something that many families don't get to do. Although I feel as though there is more of this kind of a setup since COVID, where people are working more from home and that kind of thing. So they've become accustomed to the dynamics of being multiple people in the house at the same time and achieving tasks while at home. So your task at this point is parenting this child and spending time as a family and really establishing yourselves as a unit of three, well, four, including the pup.
Yeah, you can't forget
Matilda.
No.
She goes everywhere we go.
And so you've had your baby shower, you've had the winter holidays, you got through seeing all of the family, all of the friends, all of the things. And what about classes? Have you done any childbirth preparation classes or baby preparation classes or anything like that?
Oh yeah, we did both. We did when we did the Carrie, the labor and delivery.
Yeah.
And then we also did baby care. Yeah, the labor and delivery was much more informative than the baby care for, I guess, myself personally.
I mean,
Right.
I think babies are not a novel concept to either of us.
Right.
We've both like spent a lot of time around babies, very new babies, multiple,
Yeah.
over
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
so a lot of that was kind of just like, oh yeah, of course that's how you change a diaper. Of course that's how you bathe a baby.
Right.
But the preparation for childbirth was, I think we both purposely avoided that information a little bit.
Yeah.
And now you're staring down the barrel of it, so you might as well know what you're getting yourselves into.
I already have the suitcase packed.
Excellent. Excellent.
Here, someone else does it, and then
great. Now we have baby. Yeah. Forgot that we have to do the heavy lifting this time around.
Well, Sarah does.
Was there anything about the birth process that kind of caught you off guard or surprised you?
Well, because I've been humming and hawing about an epidural, and most of we're using Sunnybrook, which has its own obstetric unit,
Right.
and its own obstetric care team. So when my sister, for instance, had her epidural, she had to get it right away because they share personnel at that hospital. So she had to spend most of her labor kind of bedbound. And I was like, well, I can tolerate quite a bit before I'm in agony. And I didn't really want to spend the whole time just kind of sitting in bed waiting around. So it was nice to find out at Sunnybrook, they have their own obstetrical, anesthesiologist.
Yes.
So that whenever I'm ready for the epidural, I get it.
Right.
I don't have to walk into the hospital and be like, this is what I want. Some people change their mind halfway through. They feel like they can do it. So that was that was eye-opening for me. I was like, oh, I thought I'd have to be
a lot of people
stuck.
tell that story, right? Of I wanted to get the epidural, but it
was too late.
They had to go into surgery, and so it was 2 hours later before I could get it. But they were like, oh no, don't worry about that. If you ask for epidural, you can have it within 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So to wait until you really are ready.
Until I really need it.
Yeah. Which then allows you to sort of process labor differently, take it in the chunks that it's meant to be taken in. This is where I am right now. I don't need to worry about later because this is where I am. And when I get to later, I'll figure out later. Exactly.
I didn't want to have to trying to get through the hospital navigation of starting labor and being okay, how exactly do you want this to go? You gotta know now, because otherwise you're gonna miss that loop, that hole of it, the window.
Yeah.
And I was so that was really reassuring. I can't think of what else.
The thing that freaked me out a little bit was I don't know why, but what's it called? It's the monitor for the baby, but they put it on their skull.
The internal fetal monitor.
Yeah.
No, they often call it a scalp clip, and I'm like, that's no kind of clip. That's a wire that goes under the skin. And if it's needed, don't get me wrong, it's needed and good to have it, but it's invasive for you and baby.
Yeah, it is invasive. It's obviously not that harmful, but it's not as described.
Right. That's right. We're just going to put a little scalp clip on the baby. We're just going to listen to baby's heart rate. No, you're going to put a needle under the skin. No, I get that. Yeah. That kind of freaked me out. And to be honest, when I'm teaching prenatal classes, I never want to talk about it, but I always know I have to, but I never want to talk about it. To be honest, I don't see them used very often anymore. And I think that primarily the reason for that is that the monitoring systems have become so state of the art that they can pick up baby's heart rate. Because, when I first started in this industry decades ago, it wasn't as advanced. So they sometimes couldn't get baby's heart rate, and they needed to know baby was doing okay. So we used to see the scalp clip or the internal fetal monitor used more. So while it's freaked you out, it's improbable that you'll have to have it used. How's that? Does that help?
Yeah. We initially, the doctors were saying, because they did the ultrasound and they said, apparently this baby is very large, and which is sort of we should have anticipated that a little bit. we did reciprocal IVF. My family's quite big, and the donor's family and himself are like very, very big family. And
I am not.
And Sarah is teeny tiny. And yeah, so we should have anticipated, big baby, small lady. But so they're talking a little bit about, we're going to do another ultrasound next week. Because ironically, the ultrasound they were doing was to make sure that the baby was growing enough, because Sarah has Crohn's disease.
Right.
And they were like, we want to make sure the baby's growing okay, make sure that and then they were like, well, just kidding. They're growing just fine. They're huge.
They're huge.
So there has been some talk of like induction a little bit early if this next ultrasound shows that baby is even more gigantic.
Or scheduled C-section.
Yeah.
Oh, like there's the other.
Yeah, because they weren't sure about baby's position either. But I mean, it's still, they said, it's still early for all of it. Like if the baby will turn, if the baby will slow down in growing, but they wanted to prepare us. So I don't think that was something that really occurred to us.
No.
That like if a baby
was too big.
Yeah.
No. Can I just let you know that 2 years ago, February 29th, because that year it was leap year, I was attending a birth with a friend of mine, and she's tiny. She's only about 5 feet tall. She's like 110 pounds maybe when she's not pregnant. But her spouse that she was procreating with is quite tall, very, very tall. And she carried this teeny tiny little belly, and I've seen yours, much like you, no extra anything anywhere else, but it looked like she'd swallowed the proverbial basketball. And she went into labor on her own. She labored without any issues and pushed her baby out without any tearing or epidural or anything else. No issues. And that baby was like 7.5 pounds, like a good sized baby for the tiny little frame that she was, which is neither here nor there, but it's not uncommon when you are a small statured person to become pregnant and carry the way that you are. You're not filling out everywhere else. You're just obviously pregnant, and you are very obviously pregnant. And to have people saying to you and planting those seeds like, this baby's too big. If baby's in the right position, you got this baby in there. Their heads are designed to change shape to find their way out. Like, the likelihood is that there won't be any issues. But it's hard not to worry, especially when they start talking about potential induction or cesarean or that kind of thing. Because all you want is a happy, healthy baby and to come out of this as unscathed as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah. And like, I'm not terribly worried about either of those things either. Like, again, we have a great healthcare team.
Yeah.
Baby will out. I'll be fine. And like, my mom is my size, and I was a 13-pound baby, and I managed to get out quite easily. So anything can happen. I'm trying not to like scare myself.
Yeah.
I think the positioning is, we can't tell right now. I don't know if baby has gotten into.
I don't think baby has gotten into position.
Yeah.
Baby still moves around quite a bit.
Is more likely is
yeah.
The concern. Yeah. Fair.
But it's 5 weeks, right? I think we still have time to change.
I've seen babies flip head down into the right position in labor because they were like, oh, no, I was just playing up here. And now I'm getting ready to get out.
You told me this was the day. I'm here.
That's right. You didn't tell me I needed to pack in advance. I'm ready.
There you go. I'm fine. So dramatic.
That's right. That's right. Oh, my parents, they're so dramatic.
Yeah.
That's the voice that we always give to the baby, is like a
sarcastic
teenager. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to just say, Sarah, if you came out at 13 pounds, you were practically a teenager already when you came out. So that tracks.
Yeah. Every time I tell that to people, they're like, wait, what? Now, my mom had gestational diabetes. So
right.
It makes sense that I was a very abnormally large baby. Babies are usually a half of that.
Right.
Yeah, like all my siblings, because there's 6 of us, they were all like 6, 7, 8 pounds.
You just had to be different.
I did. Yeah. Well, in every possible way.
Absolutely. So, as you know, we're just doing snippets because we're going to record one more time after this baby arrives and we hear all about how things went. But where are your heads at this point? How are you feeling? Are you like, I know you're ready to evict this person, but where are your heads?
I'm excited, like, to meet
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause, again, we don't know the sex of the baby. We don't really like we have names picked out, but like we can't put a name to them.
Right.
Right. Our puppy is like all about the belly. And everybody keeps like we have a big family and they're all excited. So now I'm more excited. Like we're all geared up for this baby to show up.
Yeah.
There's a certain impatience now.
Yeah, impatient. It is.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But being from big families and spending time with them over the holidays would also heighten the excitement too, because everybody gets together and then they feed off of one another with their excitement, right?
Yeah. And everybody's like, I think we've said in a previous time that we've chatted, like, I think we've both been very surprised at how ridiculously positive people's uh, reactions have been towards us. Like, which I don't want to like understate how like grateful we feel for that because we know a lot of people in our position don't have that. Like
Right.
I was talking to like everyone at my work has been just like so invested, asking like, when's the baby? How's the baby doing? When's it coming? And even the the chaplain at my work the other day, who's like a Catholic priest, was like, "Has the baby been born yet? How's Sarah? Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. You better send me pictures." And I was just like who has that?
Yeah. Yeah, even my massage therapist is like super excited. He can't wait.
Oh, I love that. That's
Yeah.
amazing though, right? I mean, that's all you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, like part of it is I think that we've really just been, well, obviously we're doing a podcast too, but like we've been really open
Mhm.
throughout the entire process. Like we showed pictures to people of the potential donors and we let people ask all the questions they want to ask, like how does the IVF work? How do you decide who gets pregnant? Like we've
Yeah.
just not been cagey about anything, and I think that that's made people feel really involved.
Right.
Yeah, we haven't really missed people.
No, because they're just like, we told people like as soon as we were pregnant, pretty much like we started telling people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were like, not everyone, obviously, but we didn't wait 12 weeks to tell everybody. We were like, we want people involved for better, for worse, like whatever happens.
Yeah.
And so I think people have felt like this has been going on for a year.
Right.
Like the whole process and the sperm picking party and the
Oh my God, it has been a year.
I had a coworker do needles for me, and like in March of last year when we were doing the egg retrieval. So
Yeah.
it's been a team effort.
It's been very, yeah. Everyone's kind of played their part in it.
Which is amazing to feel like you're surrounded by so much love like that.
Yeah.
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 And support and all that. Because, like, yeah, I'm at my wit's end now. And everyone's like, you're okay. Like, you're going to get through it. I'm like, I feel like I'm not. I feel like I'm going full blown crazy. Like, I thought the IVF hormones were crazy. No.
They're nothing compared to pregnancy, right?
Yeah,
No.
nothing compared to this.
Yeah. You're almost there. You're almost there. The end is in sight.
Yeah. The finish line is fastly approaching.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I can't wait to be able to hear the news and celebrate with you and then record our last little piece so we can share your story with all the listeners who really would like to have the opportunity to learn more of an insight, because when people tell their story afterwards and go back to it, it's a different story than when you're in it, because we forget that, well, we don't even know the pieces that we're going to forget, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we have the baby ready onesie all set to take a good picture.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see baby and the baby ready onesie. I had to throw that in. I mean, if I
Well, our fertility clinic gave us one too.
Oh, did they?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
You know what? It's pretty bold. They put on it. I liked it. I thought
clever. I thought it was funny.
It says 100% natural.
Nice.
That's pretty bold humor for a fertility clinic, but we liked it. But I can see how it will be anyway. So they said bring the baby back when you're ready to the clinic and have them onesie.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I mean, I know your fertility clinic, so that tracks. That's on par with their comfort level with supporting people through a process.
Exactly. Yeah. It was just like, no, the doctor was that way too. Just like, what's the word? Just no shame. No shame. No shame. Just like, they know what they are. Over here for. Let's get you.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'm going to let you get back to your day, and I can't wait to chat with you again. And maybe I'll run into you at another hockey game or two. We'll see what's going on. Have a fabulous Thursday. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
And there you have it. That is the first 3 parts of my conversation with Emily and Sarah as they prepare to meet their beautiful little baby. Next week, I have the opportunity to share one last conversation that we recorded after their baby's birth. As a queer individual with colonial lineage, I want to first acknowledge the land upon which I live and work. Being from what is now known as Burlington, Ontario, I recognize the original ancestry of these lands as they span from Lake Ontario to the Niagara Escarpment and beyond. These lands are steeped in Indigenous history that benefits my community every day. The territory is mutually covered by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, an agreement between the Iroquois Confederacy, the Ojibwe, and other allied nations to peaceably share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. I would like to acknowledge that the land on which I stand is part of the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit. The land dictates everything about our ways of being. Particularly, the land teaches us about fluidity. Concepts of the binary system and heteropatriarchy were imposed by the colonials who were, at the same time, removing children from their homes, families, and all that was familiar to them. These same children were divided by the only 2 prescribed binaries recognized by the settlers, and they were forced to conform to a performative, gendered falsehood. The land doesn't operate under binary thinking. It is diverse, complex, and unpredictable at times. Rather, the land holds us and all of our remarkable paths and identities. Every organism and spirit has a purpose. It is from this understanding that I strive to live and grow. Thank you for joining me today on the Becoming Baby Ready podcast. If you have a story that you'd like to share, or you know someone who might, if you're a professional who works in the capacity of helping people start and grow their families, and you identify as being a part of the 2S LGBTQIA+ community yourself, then please don't hesitate to reach out. We always have room for more stories to share, and there's always more learning to do.